Tyagi, it will be evaluated by James Sims.
Where is he? Oh, there you are. You're moving around, okay. You're not hiding, are you? Okay. Speech number 9, Midlife Crisis. I really liked the title of your speech. It was a very interesting speech. What I like to do sometimes is look at some of the previous projects and to see what some of the other speakers have said. And I also found it unique that actually what Ashok does is almost every one of his speeches, he gives the evaluator 2 or 3 points that he wants to work on in those particular speeches. Some of them, for example, were looking to connect, make the audience laugh, don't preach, and a lot of your speeches have been about in the medical field, so I think it's great that you moved beyond that into something a little bit different as tonight's speech was. To be conversational, and at the halfway point you suggested you want to use body language a little bit better, and I think that maybe is a goal that you can work on even more. I thought one of the purposes of the speech was to focus on the self-interest of the audience. How many of you are truck owners? About 3? Okay. I'm not sure that you've reached the non-truck owners, so that's my only thing about that in terms of it being a persuasive speech. What was very effective is you began with a pause. Great way to start any speech. You do have humor, and it almost seems to flow naturally, such as talking about doesn't leave the room, and also talking about the dog under the wheel, some perfect examples. You don't use notes anymore. You've moved beyond the notes, which is another one of the goals you had. One of the evaluators said that you exude confidence, and I certainly think that you did that this evening, even though I didn't hear any susurration. One of the areas that you really, it wowed me, was how you handled the He-Man thing. And you got no response at first, but you pulled it out. You made sure that that audience responded to you. And you proved that you could connect with the audience and how important that is. Opportunities for improvement, things that you might want to work on going forward. You did tend to stand more or less in one place. You might want to try to use more of the staging area. Now, what's kind of interesting is I actually remember my 40th birthday. It was a surprise party I held for myself. It was quite some time ago. And so you talked about how many people here are 40 to 50. Well, that's about a third of us. Well, you guys know us. What about the older guys? What about the older gals? That maybe the 40 or the 50 was a little bit in the past. You want to make sure that you connect with everyone in the audience. You could ask how many of you are truck owners. One of the things that you mentioned was very, very minor. You talked about the car had prizes. Now that truck might actually have prizes, but I think maybe the word that you wanted to use was features. One of the things that I thought was really great is you used the phrase exoskeleton. I thought you were actually working for Ford, selling the F-150. You had great excitement. You definitely connected with the audience. You're well on your way to moving towards, who knows, distinguished Toastmaster perhaps. Mr. General Evaluator.